Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's Slice Data with Saurabh. I have already uploaded several videos on Excel. Go to my timeline and watch them. They will definitely help you. I have already covered VLOOKUP, concatenate, pivot chart, pivot table, and about data that what are the problems with the data, an introduction of the dashboard. There are so many things I have already covered. Please go through my timeline, like the videos, subscribe them, and especially for the students who wants to enter into the IT world, just go and watch those videos. They will definitely help you. And today I am here to talk about the macro. Why macro is important? Because macro, what is macro first of all? Macro is nothing but it will record whatever the clicks you will do in the given Excel sheet. So it will record everything and you have to do the same thing again and again. Let's say if you are able to see my screen, see there are headers and the data. You have to update these headers and data, basically data for every time for the new people. And then again, you have to go to this particular thing and you have to type everything here, because company, employee ID, state, city, date of birth, product, and the quantity. So if you can create something like this, a macro, it will do it for you in a very simple form. So first thing, just remember that for the very first thing, you have to copy everything, all the records, and paste Alt E S and T. First record, always make sure that you have pasted by manual thing. That is very important. For the second record, I will try to copy a macro, and macro will take care of that. Now I don't have to run anything. I will insert here a picture or shape basically to create a button. And I will say edit text and I will say run macro. Okay. And then I will say medium and then I will say in between. So this is my macro button. I have just created a macro button so that next time when I will input the data, I will run that particular button and my data will automatically be fulfilled here. Okay. Now, please watch very carefully that I do not have the developer tab here on the top. For the macro, you must have a developer tab. And how will you get that? Just right click in the blank space here and say customize the ribbon and check the developer tab and say OK. Once you check the developer tab, you can see the macro, record macro, use relative reference. These three buttons basically we are going to use as macro is doing nothing, but it is copying everything. It is just record, means like in the yesteryears, we have a tape recorder in which we can record our voice and play it for the future reference. So similar kind of thing will macro will do for you. So let's say I have to do this kind of entry every day, data, this employee ID, product, quantity, whatever it is. I have to do this every day. Only the first record I have copied and pasted here. Let's say I have to do it for the next record. Instead of Techem, I will give any other company, let's say Satyam. Record ID, I will give 121214. Then I will say state is UP, city is Noida, date is 01-02-1982, and computer, I will say pencil, and number of quantities, I will say 4100. Simple. So this data I've already filled here, and I want this data to be pasted here in the bottom row of this TechM. So what I will do, I will start a macro. Please watch very carefully what I'm going to do. I've already clicked the right click here in the blank space and I kept the developer tab here. Now I have a macro here. Now I'll say record macro. I say record macro, then it will ask me for the name. And remember, in the name, you cannot give any space. So I will say copy paste data without any space. And description, I will say copy data and paste in next sheet. This is the just description for my understanding. I said, okay. Now you can see here, you can see that stop recording is there. Earlier, start recording is there. So start macro, now stop recording. So now what I will do, I have already filled this particular form. I will copy this. Every time you have to do that, copy this, go to your output sheet, put your cursor here on the company, then say control down arrow. Okay. Then use relative reference. This is very important part, guys. Please be careful because I'm going to give the reference. Use relative reference, then From the down arrow, I'm coming into the next cell and I just click use relative reference again. First company, then control arrow, brown arrow, come to the TechM, and then the next part, use relative reference, then come to the next cell and stop that use relative reference. So now what I will do, Alt, E, S, and T. T means transpose, because there in the front end, my data was in the vertical form, means like in the column format. Here I have to give it in the row format. So Alt EST will transpose my data here, and we say okay. So see, all the data has been come here. Now again, I'm keeping my cursor here and I'm going back to this particular place and I'm deleting this data. Okay. So this is done. Now I will stop recording. Now my macro has been recorded. Now what I have to do is I have to assign this macro to this particular button. Assign macro, copy paste data. I said, okay. Now I will give some name. Let's say I will give Satyam 252525. State is Punjab. City is Amritsar. And the date of birth is 02-02-1952. Product is car. Quantity is 20. Now I have done that. Now I want this data to be pasted here in the top, in the bottom row. So what I will do, I'll just click on the run macro. Let's see what will happen. Okay. So here data is deleted. Now come to the output and you can see my data which was there has come here. Let us try one more time. We will give any company name, let's say JKG. Then I give employee ID, let's say 787878. Then I give state, let's say I give Punjab again. Then I will say city as Jalandhar. Date of birth is 02-02-1985. Product, let's say I will say computer. And the quantity, let's say I will say 63. So this data I have filled here. Now I don't have to go there and copy anything. Just I will do what I will do. I will just click the run macro. When I will do this run macro, all the data will be copied from there and pasted here without doing anything. Why? Because it has already recorded a macro in this. So it is doing it for us. And every time, let's say you are working in a school and you have to create an admission form. Here you can add anything, means like Aadhaar number or whatever, or father's name or address. You just give the data here. Let's say I will give another company name. Let's say ACCENTURE, Accenture. Employee ID is 454545, something like that. Some random numbers are there. And then the state is Haryana. And city is now it's Gurugram. Then the date of birth is 02-02- oh, sorry, I am giving it in a wrong way. Okay, -01-1986. Then I will say product. Product is like MS Office, and quantity, let's say I will say 25. So this data I have given here. I will run a macro again, and it will paste my data there. Simple. See there. So my data, Accenture, employee ID, state, city, DOB, product, and quantity. So guys, this is a very simple way to record a macro. And then once the macro is recorded, you have to save this file. So let's say I will save this file. To save a file, click to save a file with these features, click no, and then choose a macro enabled file type in the file type list. This is very important. So I will say no. Then I have to choose a macro enabled. So I will browse. I will go to my desktop and I will say macro enabled workbook. This is very important part. Why? Because I have already created a macro for this. So you have to save it in a macro enabled workbook and say save and give it name as example macro and save it. So it will take some time. It is saved. Now I will close it. Okay, and now I will go back to my macro enabled workshop. If you are able to see my screen, let me know. If not, let me share. Okay. Because my Windows has been closed, so let me screen share again. Share my screen. That will help share. So now you will see this again. Okay. Now here, when you open that, you don't have to write the macro again and again. You have to just go and enable content, whatever is there. Let's say company name. Company name is Maruti. Employee ID is 252525. State is Haryana. And city is Gurugram. Date of birth is 02-02-19-835. Anything is fine, man. I'm giving just examples. Product is Suzuki, and the quantity is 858. And I will say run macro. See, what will happen? All the data will be copied here. You don't have to go and type anything. So front end will be blank and the backend data will be saved. So you can use it for any kind of products. Let's say you are working in a school and you have to do an admission form. Just give the data like this, run a macro, and the data will be saved in the backend. Every time when you want, you can see here, simple. So guys, this is the very small, very sweet introduction of the macro. And you can do it for anything. You can create a data, run a pivot chart, means like record a macro and then run a macro on that particular data. So it will show you that, okay, how to save data in a particular sheet, and you don't have to do everything every time. So this is a macro, and it will help you to do that. Only one thing you have to remember, as that I told you have to add the developer tab, record macro, and use relative reference. This is very important part. You have to use it once in this particular video, but maybe in other means like as per requirement, you have to use several times. But wherever you have to give the reference, you have to use this. So use relative reference and record macro. Please, guys, watch, share, and subscribe my channel. This is going to help you in a lot of ways. So macro is a very important thing which I have covered today. I hope this will help you. All the best. Keep watching my video on my channel and subscribe. And especially for the students, please go through my all the videos. This is going to help you. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye, guys.